In 2045, Indonesia will reach 100 years of independence and enter the era of Indonesia Emas. But the question is, what should we do as young generation to reach and help our national dream? Well, that's why I'm here today. So, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, honorable juries, and all my beloved friends. Allow me, I am Adinda, to present my speech about From Failure to Flourishing. Well, ladies and gentlemen, when we hear the word success, we often imagine someone who has always been smart, confident, and lucky, right? But the truth is, behind every success story, there are failures, tears, and moments of doubt. Well, let me give you an example then. Do you know about Mary Riana? Yes, Mary Riana. Well, Mary Riana is an Indonesian writer and motivator that has been through hardship in her life. She was born in Jakarta and then moved to Singapore with very little money after the 1998 riots. Well, life was tough. She had to borrow money for her studies, take side jobs, and live on just 2 pockets of instant noodles. However, ladies and gentlemen, instead of giving up, she turned the struggles into motivations. Yes, she worked extremely hard and eventually succeeded in making $1 million before the age of 30. Unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, many young people today give up too easily. Yes, there are many cases where young people give up over trivial matters. Moreover, ladies and gentlemen, a study conducted by UIN Malang revealed that 88% of today's youth are afraid of an uncertain future. Well, if this continues, I believe many young people will be limited in their potential. So now the question is, how can we achieve Indonesia Emas if so many youths are afraid of failure before they even start? Yes, the answer depends on how do we interpret the pressure we get. Well, ladies and gentlemen, today many youths see pressure as something frightening, right? They are afraid of making mistakes, afraid of being judged, and afraid of failing. But perhaps everyone, we have been looking at pressure the wrong way. Because in reality, pressure is privilege. Yes, once again, pressure is privilege. How can? Yes, pressure means we are trusted with opportunities. Pressure means we still have dreams worth fighting for. And pressure means life is preparing us to become stronger. After all, diamonds are not created without pressure, right? Well, ladies and gentlemen, what we as young generation should do is simple. Do not be afraid to fail and do not be afraid to try, okay? Because everything we face is truly pressure. Pressure from our environment, pressure from our parents, and even pressure from our partners. However, we can use these pressures as a privilege that can shape us to be better. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there is a beautiful saying. Flowers don't bloom overnight. Yes, flowers don't bloom overnight. So, before the flower can bloom beautifully, it must first survive in the darkness underground, unseen, unnoticed, and underground pressure. Well, that's why pressure is a privilege, right? Because pressure doesn't always mean life is breaking us down. Sometimes it means life is shaping us to grow. So, when you feel like you're behind, when your efforts seem to be fading, don't give up too quickly, okay? You're just going and someday you'll like a flower. You will bloom in your own perfect time. Well, before I end my speech, there's a beautiful phrase. Flowers bloom with beauty. Pressure helps us find our place. So, never fear the challenges we face because pressure is a privilege that leads us to radiance. Well, I think that's all that I can say. Thanks for giving a very nice attention. Good morning and goodbye.